Hi everybody, it's Dr. Hennington. We are in week 3, communicating our test results. It's so important that you know how to administer the right test, but it's also very important that you know how to communicate your results. You've got the assessment result information. You've got information from the intake interview. You've had a couple of sessions. You've put it together in this really nice report with all your fancy words that you use for the DSM-5, but can you explain it to your client in a way that they're going to understand it? If someone comes up and says, you scored a 50 in narcissism, what does that mean to you? Does that mean you are lacking in narcissistic tendencies? Does it mean you scored high in narcissistic tendencies? Or are you just average? You have a strong confidence, but not overly arrogant. It really depends on the test that you've given, and it's important that you communicate those results properly. If someone walks up to you and says you have an IQ of 137, wow, you leave that room thinking you're a genius. When in actuality, that may not be the case. You may have scored high in a particular area that you are very good in. Perhaps it's visual spatial reasoning, and that brought your overall IQ up, but in general knowledge or crystallized information, you may have scored below average in the 80s. But because you had such a high score in the other area, that brought your score up. And so you walk away thinking you're a genius, when in actuality you may not be. You're very strong in some areas and weak in some areas, and it's very important that you are able to communicate those results correctly to clients. A lot of times we like to use our fancy language. We like to talk about cognitive behavioral therapy for major depressive disorder. Well, clients don't understand that. So it's important that we break it down. Some of the things that you've been struggling with are A, B, and C. The test really kind of shows that these are strengths of yours. Do you agree with that? It's very important that your client agrees with the results. In most cases, you will have some mental illnesses that just will not understand their diagnosis, and that's probably part of the disorder. But you have to be able to break it down into the English language. You have to be able to talk to parents of children. You have to be able to, say something to the child about their diagnosis. And you better make sure that you have the right diagnosis before you start explaining all of this, or you may have a lawsuit on your hands. Did you take into an account all of the cultural dynamics of the family? We have such diverse groups. You really need to take into account all of those things that you've learned in your social cultural class, your multicultural class, in order to be sensitive to different cultures or even combined cultures. And so it's important that you know these things and that you keep up with these things, and we are definitely going to learn how to communicate those assessment results to people. That will be your last, final assignment for assessment. After residencies, you will hand in a formal interpretation of your assessments done, and then you will put a video together based on the results, just explaining those results. And so I think you guys are going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun when we see each other in residency. And I hope that you are getting as much out of the discussions as I hope, that I want you to. I'm not probably as detailed in grading those in the summer, as I generally am, because I get to see all of your skills when we come face to face. So you guys are doing a great job. It's a busy time. We are working right up to the last minute. I think we have maybe a week or 2 weeks of breathing room in between when you come for residency, depending on which residency you're in. So we will talk to you soon.